You are here because the outside world rejects you.
I'm the best there is at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice.
Come on, let's get nuts.
This guy's got the right idea. He wore the brown pants.
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga!
I made a buddy. Come on, Peter Tingle. Here we go.
What's up? What's up?
What up?
What's up?
I'm Brad Reed. I am joined by Cameo.
Yo.
Good afternoon to you.
How you doing?
I'm doing good here on this Sunday afternoon.
Afternoon nizzle.
Yeah. Of course, by the time people hear this, it's usually a Tuesday.
Yep.
If they're listening to the podcast, if they're listening to, or not listening, but watching on YouTube, then you might get some of it earlier than that. You might get a nerd update tomorrow, and then in the middle of the week, you'll probably see a Nerds to Men on Film review. I like that, Nerds to Men on Film, right? Like,
yeah,
we came up with that this week, so that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I asked my wife if she liked it, and she said hated it.
Oh, hopefully there are people our age that get that reference.
Yeah, and hopefully we don't get sued.
Right.
No C's and D's going out to us, because I will neither cease nor desist. And you can put that on my tombstone as I die broke.
Booyah. While Keenan Ivory Waynes is counting his dollars.
Yeah. He's got enough dollars. Leave us alone. We're keeping the spirit alive. That's how you should look at it. You know, you would think with oh man, what's the show? In Living Color.
Oh yeah.
That you could find it streaming. But I think it was like streaming at one time somewhere, and I was like, oh, I got to watch that. And then I didn't.
Yeah, it needs to come out on some type of streaming service ASAP.
It's one of the best shows ever.
And some of like the most iconic skit characters ever.
Yeah.
Homie the Clown.
Yeah.
Fire Marshal Bill.
Let me tell you something. My wife, she hates it when I do that, because I got to do the teeth too. I got to go.
Yeah. You got to do the whole neck.
Oh man, if you haven't, try to find it. If you've never seen it, I don't know if it's on YouTube or there's clips on YouTube, but not like a whole, or that I've seen like a whole episode. We need to I got to order it on DVD or something. That'd be worth having. Yeah. It would be nice to have. I agree. So, we got, like I said, we're going to be talking, we got Nerdflix and chill. We got TV streaming recommendations coming your way. And then, Nerds to Men on Film. That's also coming your way, where we're going to preview Black Panther and let you know what else is coming out this coming up weekend. So, Yep. Yeah. So let's jump into our nerd updates. Why don't we?
All righty, let's do it.
The first one, here's a show, Cameo, that has been on next year 60 years. It's Doctor Who. Have you ever checked out
60 years?
Yeah, 60 years. Have you ever watched Doctor Who?
Actually, no, I haven't. No. I take that back. I have watched Doctor Who on, I think it was on HBO Max, I believe.
Yeah.
Wherever it's streaming, that's where I watched like the first couple episodes. And and maybe I didn't give it enough time. It just seemed kind of meh to me. But I think I might try to give it another round, since what's his name? Daemon Targaryen is Doctor Who in one of the seasons. So yeah. So I might give it a try.
Well, okay, let me take this back. Let me walk it back. It might not have been on 60 years, but it might have. But they're celebrating their 60th anniversary. And so the only caveat to me not saying that it's been on 60 years is maybe it's like the 60th season, because they've had like multiple seasons in a year, or I know that doesn't necessarily always happen like that, but you never know.
Yeah, right.
Because 60 years, dang. I remember I used to watch Doctor Who when I was a kid, and that was the dude who had like a fro. I can't remember the guy's name, but That was back when you had to watch it on like OETA, which that I guess that's only for Oklahoma, but whatever public broadcasting system channel you have, wherever it used to be on back then. And I love that show, and it was so campy, and of course the special effects weren't great or nothing like that, but I loved Doctor Who, and it came back. It didn't come back. It had been on, but it seems like around the time when David Tennant, you know who David Tennant is? Yeah. Yeah, he's been in some things since then. But when he was the Doctor, I feel like a lot of people I knew of were watching it. And then, of course, there's been other Doctors since. There's been a female Doctor. So, because that's the thing, I guess the Doctors, regenerate, which when I was a kid, I didn't know any of that. And so like later on, when all my friends or even my children, they liked it, they were watching it and they were like talking about it and stuff. I was like, that's not the Doctor I know.
Right. I remember the first time I ever heard of Doctor Who. I think it was during a Comic-Con, and somebody was cosplaying as one of the Doctors, one of the Doctor Who's. But yeah, that's the first time I've ever heard of it. And it's been on for, like you said, almost a century.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how haven't I've never heard of this, but I've heard practically about pretty much about everything else that's happened in the 90s and late 80s.
I've seen a couple of the newer ones, and it's probably been 10, 15 years now, so it's not that new. But there was like this one where there were angel statues, and when people would when they would look at them, they wouldn't move, but when they'd turn around, they would move, and so you look back and it'd be closer to you. And those things were creepy, dude. Those things were scary.
I bet.
So they're celebrating their 60th anniversary next year. David Tennant's returning for this 60th anniversary celebration. I don't know if that means he's back for like a whole season or just a few shows. And then the other big news, if you're a Doctor Who fan, and I think we're going to have to jump into it, Cameo. We're going to have to watch it. But it's on. Okay. It's going to be on Disney Plus from now on.
Cool.
Disney Plus now.
Will all the seasons be on there? Or is it just?
It might be, but I don't know if it's like going to be going, because it used to be on like BBC America, different places like that. So I don't know for sure that it's going to have all the back seasons, but if it did, that'd be kind of cool too. Cause I'd like to go back and watch it from when I was watching it as a kid. Cause I never missed it when I was young, man. But again, I was like 5, 6, 7, like it was a long time ago. So I didn't really know I watched it, but I didn't retain a whole lot of like what it was all about. You know what I mean? All right. Aubrey Plaza. You know her from Parks and Recs, Legion.
Who's that? She's
been in a lot of movies. You don't know Aubrey Plaza? You know Aubrey Plaza. In fact, because you watched Parks and Recs. I know you're just messing with me, but you did watch Parks and Recs. Oh my God, I'm out.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
She was.
I love that show.
She was Chris Pratt's girlfriend in the show.
Right.
And now she's been cast into the WandaVision spinoff, Agatha and the Coven of Chaos, which also reunites her with Catherine Hahn, who was in Parks and Recs. But if I can remember right, I'm not sure that they had too many scenes together, because Catherine Hahn played like a political advisor.
Yeah, I don't think they've really passed each other's cross each other's paths. There we go.
Yeah. They never paths each other's cross.
Right.
I couldn't even get it out. It just doesn't roll off the tongue either.
Right.
But so I wonder, I doubt it, but I wonder if we would ever see Star-Lord and her hook up. And if you're listening and not watching, I'm doing like the raised eyebrow thing, like, yeah. But I doubt it.
Yeah.
But she will. Not a lot of information on who she's been cast as, but she'll probably be a witch. Probably, I would think she's probably joining her coven. I like Aubrey Plaza though. She's weird.
Yeah,
I think she's on The White Lotus too on HBO Max. I think, but I don't hold me to that, because I just did a little reading, and I think that's what I said. They're in like season 2 of The White Lotus, which I'm not a huge fan. I tried to watch it. My mom really loved it, but I was kind of like, I don't know. It's not that interesting. Okay. All right. Speaking of HBO Max Cameo, and I got to make a confession. I'm probably one of the reasons this show got canceled. WestWorld. After 4 seasons, it's been canceled. Now, Cameo, we talked about this, how I wasn't like a huge fan of the 3rd season. Mm-hmm. And then the 4th season kind of started to draw me back in as they kind of went back into the park. But see, the thing is, they had done, spoilers, they had done like some tributes to the 1st season, right? Mm-hmm. Because they were in like a flapper park, like the old gangster.
The 20s.
Yeah.
The roaring 20s.
Yeah. And they tried to redo the whole deal where they played the, Paint It Black and all of that. And they robbed the saloon. Well, they tried to do that now in like a speakeasy or whatever. And it was just, it didn't hit the same. I don't even remember. Right. I can't remember what song they did in this one. It was a modern song, redone for that time, but I don't know. And so I got to admit, this season was a little bit better, but I got all the way up and I never watched the season finale. So now I'll have to watch it because it's the series finale now.
Right.
Because like I don't remember what happened, and a few weeks passed and I didn't see it, and I was like, eh.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Let me ask you this without spoilering, without spoilers. That's how you should talk.
Right.
Did the season end to where you're like, oh, I can't wait for season 5, or does it end to where you're like, I guess that's the end of it then?
I get. Well, I feel like there should be at least another season, or at least like a movie wrap up.
Yeah.
Because it did leave it open ended. So I can't really remember what happens at the very end, but I do believe that it was open ended, and it's like, well, now this sucks because we don't know what's really happening.
Yeah.
But I guess you could, watch it and be like, oh, this would be a satisfying ending for the series. So I just can't really remember it, but I vaguely remember like, well, I want to see what happens. So
not like My Name is Earl, which I still am mad about. I'll mention it every time.
I haven't watched all of it. So,
well, it ends on a cliffhanger. Let's just say that's all.
Oh, okay.
And the story was they asked the I think it was on NBC, and they asked NBC. They said, "Hey, should we end this? Like, there's not going to be another season?" And they were like, "No, you're good."
Yeah.
And then you're canceled.
Right.
So, which some people will say, and it's true. They did like a little wrap up in another offshoot. There was another TV show written by the same guy, and they like mentioned Earl in like a newspaper. I think it was Nurse Jackie or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And they mentioned Earl and all that in like a newspaper clip, but to me, that's not good.
Yeah, that's a cop out.
We got another cancellation though. They made it 3 seasons. Stargirl.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw one episode of that. Not sure why.
It actually wasn't too bad.
I've heard that.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't like, the first few seasons of The Flash or Arrow, but it's almost like following a Teen Titans type, crew.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it was pretty decent. You can catch the 1.5 seasons, because season 2 is only half there. So yeah, you can catch the 2 seasons on I was about to say social media, HBO Max.
So they're currently in season 2, or they're
No, this is season 3.
Okay,
I think
yeah. And that's the last. That will be the last one.
Yeah.
All right, Black Adam. I want to mention this. Their box office numbers. Go ahead.
Wait.
Yeah.
Before we go into that, I don't know. We talked about Vision Quest coming back, correct?
Yes, we did.
Did we mention that? How about to say Scarlett Johansson? Oh my goodness, what's her name?
Wanda.
Yeah. Elizabeth Olsen. There we go. She's returning back as Wanda Maximoff.
Nice. I didn't know that, but I'm excited about that.
Also, I want to say sometime last week, they had dropped the news that Yahya Abdul-Mateen, a.k.a. Candyman, is coming to Disney Plus as Wonder Man. And also Bob Odenkirk, a.k.a. Better Call Saul, is also joining the Wonder Man cast. So, yeah, get ready for that.
Is that a Marvel thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool. Yes, never heard of it.
Yeah. From what I don't really know much about Wonder Man, but supposedly this is basically going to be based in like Hollywood around him. I guess he's like a Hollywood actor, action star. And so, yeah, we'll get to see him on Disney Plus.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to mention Black Adam because I had read a story where they were like, will there be a Black Adam 2? And they're like, it depends on the box office. And I was already like, there's going to be a Black Adam 2. That's not even a question. But he just did 18.5 million over the weekend, led the box office still. So that's good.
Was this the second week or the third week?
Oh, I believe we're in third week, maybe. But let's see. Domestically, they've done 137.4 million, and globally 300 million, just over 300 million. So I think we had mentioned that on the Superman review, which if you didn't see that, go watch it on YouTube or go to our past show, last week's show. But we had said that like that one had done so good and it had done 300 million. Now, obviously, there's a lot more theaters and all kinds of, a lot more people in the world now. So,
right.
So 300 million might not hit as much as it did back then, but still, that's good. I didn't look to see how much they spent to make it, in which they're also spending a lot more to make movies now, but.
Right. And the thing too is life is a lot different than it was 3 years ago. So, now a lot of people are still, afraid of going to the movies, going out in public, and people are still, ordering food in and, picking it up curbside and stuff like that. So, 300 million for a superhero film, worldwide, I guess what? I'll say 3 weeks. No, 2 weeks, because it came out last week, right? No. Yeah. So anyways, a 2 weekend movie, 300 million isn't Marvel style. But I would say with the way things are, I think that's very, very good. Very good.
I agree. And they're also, it kind of stinks for me because I'm the type of guy that would have probably watched it on HBO Max at home, although it's a great movie to see in the theater. But it didn't come out on HBO Max, so I'm sure that helped out a lot as far as box office numbers go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And too,
go ahead.
Because I was going to compare it to Spider-Man No Way Home. But the thing is that people, I feel like there's a lot more fans of Spider-Man than there is Black Adam.
Sure.
So, I feel like, you can't really compare the two. No. But also the Spider-Man movie, everybody was wanting to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. So, because that's what all the talk was about. And whether it was going to be true or not, which we all found out, spoiler alert, it was true. that's why people wanted to go, because they wanted to see their childhood Spider-Man be in this, final Spider-Man flick. So, it is what it is. Like I said, you can't really compare the two, because I think there is a lot more fans of Spider-Man than there is Black Adam. I could be wrong. You can let us go down in the comments, but
yeah,
and you could say that I'm stupid if you want to, but that's just how I feel.
I definitely think though that you're right about it's two completely different fan bases. I mean, Spider-Man's been the leader of the Marvel pack. I feel like, at least comic book and character wise,
from the very beginning.
Yeah,
I think, since he was created.
Yeah, like everybody knew who Spider-Man was, but up until recently, probably a lot of people didn't, mainstream wise, wouldn't have known who Black Adam was.
Right.
So, speaking of comments, though, that concludes the nerd update. But we did mention that if you leave comments and whatnot, we would read them on the air. So I got a couple. I got one from YouTube and one from Apple that I'd like to spotlight. Okay. I don't know how you would say this. It's Garou, Garou 94 on YouTube. Says, great insight once more, gents. I like that. I was like, ooh, yeah, that
gentleman
insinuates that we've made great insights before. And yeah,
nerds to gentlemen now.
Ooh, I like that.
I like it. A mouthful, but yeah.
Goes on to say, I love the Black Adam movie. I too do not know much about the character, just the small appearances he's made in movies and guest appearances on the TV shows, which kind of speaks to what we were just talking about. DC won't ever catch Marvel for live action phases, but we know DC flexes its muscles when it comes to its 2D animation department. Aside from their TV shows, Batman, Justice League, or no, JLA. Is that Justice League?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know why the A threw me off. Young Justice, etc., etc. The animated movies are superbly animated and highly enjoyable in my opinion. I love DC, but I think the heavy influence of the early 90s X-Men, the show, the side-scrolling arcade, the Capcom fighting games, and last but not least, Jim Lee led me to lean over to the Marvel side more over the years. So thank you so much for that comment. And he mentions or she, or they, I'm not sure, mentions the animated movies. There was a newer one that I saw that came out. Like, it's got like, I believe it's Robin and
Superboy.
Superboy. Is Superboy Connor from Titans, or is that two different characters?
Two different characters.
Okay. Which I haven't watched that one yet, and I was kind of like,
I have watched it.
Was it good?
I liked it.
Okay. Well, I'll watch it and then we'll review that one coming up, because it just came out not too long ago, right?
I would say about 2-3 weeks. I think it was like the Tuesday before Black Adam came out, or it might have been the whole week before. Without
going into it, the only reason I wasn't all like, yes, I got to watch this, because I love the DC animated stuff, but being that it was about Robin and Superboy, I thought, oh, this one might be for the kids.
It's not.
Oh, it's not? Okay. All right.
But I mean, it's kid friendly. I'll say that.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, it's Batman and Superman, Battle of the Super Sons. Go check that out.
Yeah. And well, I got to tell you, next week, I'm going to show you some action figures. I got, and they should have been here today, so I'm mad. Black Adam, I got the new one, the DC Multiverse, where he's got the cloak on. And
nice.
And then I got a Batman from Speeding Bullets, which is a Elseworlds comic, where I need to read this, because I just thought the suit was so dope, I had to have it. But when I started looking into what the Speeding Bullets meant, the whole theory, or the whole synopsis, I guess, for the comic is this: Kal-El falls to Earth, as he tends to do. but in this world, he's found by Clark Kent, or the Kents. And no, he's found by the Waynes instead of the Kents. He's found by Thomas and Martha Wayne, right? So they end up raising a Superman, but he's Bruce Wayne, right? So, and then the same thing kind of happens with his parents, that from the same Batman stories, yada, yada, yada. but he's Batman, but he has Superman powers.
That sounds like a good read.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
I kind of want to read that now because, I mean,
yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Speeding Bullets is what it's called. And even though I stumbled over the whole thing, but yeah, Kal-El falls to Earth. He's found by the Waynes instead of the Kents.
Okay.
Sounds dope. Okay, and this is a comment from Apple Podcasts, which we have a perfect. I almost hate to say this because I'm jinxing it. We've been on Apple for like 6 years, right? And we have a perfect 5.0 review. Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
My family loves listening to Brad and Cameo talk nerdy. The podcast is fun and hilarious. We love listening to the reviews, and it helps me stay up to date with the latest movies and TV shows.
Thanks, Mom. I appreciate that. I don't know who that was.
That's what I was going to say. Like, whose family member wrote that?
You're right.
Because I wrote it for them. No.
You're right.
That's funny. That's funny.